What's up, everybody? It is KidSmoove, and this is another Apples and Oranges video. And man, I know this video is early. It's late. I just got back from the movie theaters, and I went to go see Tupac's movie, or the Tupac biopic, All Eyez on Me. Been waiting for this particular movie for a year. Been waiting for a Tupac biopic for about 10 years. So we finally got it, and I want to give you guys my review. Now, I'm going to try to make this quick and honest as possible. I'm a huge Tupac fan. Any flaw in his story or any of his actions or any actions taking place surrounding him, I will spot it and I will call it out. I will point it out. I'm going to talk about the good of this movie first. I'm going to start off by saying this movie, I enjoyed it much more than a Biggie movie. I think I enjoyed it more than Straight Outta Compton as well. I feel like Dimitri Ship did a terrific job playing Tupac, or at least with the roles they had him play as Tupac. I believe the girl from Walking Dead, I keep forgetting her name, but she does a marvelous job as playing Afeni Shakur in the movie. She does a great job as playing Tupac's mom in the movie. I want to say the girl who plays Kidada Jones, the girl that plays Jada Pickett, they all did wonderful work with their roles. Now, the movie is cool for, Tupac for dummy people. Like, you'll see some of the highlights, some of the stuff, a lot of stuff that you did see, you either heard about, whether you Wikipedia or you read about in the news, or highlights when TV is talking about Tupac. They'll give you those highlights. They cover all that in the movies and some of the stuff that's behind the scenes. I love the upbringing of Tupac and Jada Pickett, and how they tell that story, and then the later story of like Tupac and Kidada Jones, which is Quincy Jones' daughter. I was interested in that story, so they did a good job with that. Tupac and his mom and going through the struggle and whatnot. They captured those moments and they did it pretty well. I think the struggle I have with the film is the lack of presence, or there's no presence of Stretch. Now, Stretch, you guys gotta know he from Live Squad. He played a key role in Tupac's career. That was Tupac's right hand man. Wherever Pac was, Stretch was. And there was no involvement or anybody to portray Stretch. There was no story regarding Stretch, even though he's the reason behind Pac and Haitian Jack, or quote unquote Nigel, getting cool with each other and hanging out. He was also on like the sets of the Above the Rim and with him, and like he was Tupac's hype man. And I think the story that involved him was needed, because when Tupac got shot the first time, he wasn't just mad at Biggie. He was also upset because he felt like his big homie Stretch betrayed him, and you know what I mean, and that was missing. That was very missing there. And there was no Tretch from Naughty by Nature, which I thought was odd, but there was no signs of Tretch at all. There was one point in the movie after he signs the death row and they're doing the performances at the House of Blues. Now, you can probably look up the House of Blues, Tupac's performance on House of Blues on YouTube. It's there. I think I still have the DVD from his performance live at the House of Blues. They had him performing. The songs they had him perform was I think Ambitious as a Rider, Hail Mary, and Hit 'Em Up. Now, the problem is Hail Mary, right? He shouldn't have performed Hail Mary. Tupac, I don't believe Tupac has ever got the chance to perform Hail Mary, being that it was amongst some of the last recordings he's ever done. I don't even think the song was even mastered with him alive. You know what I mean? So I know he recorded the song Hail Mary. I don't think Tupac had ever performed it live. He definitely didn't perform it at the House of Blues. So when they had him performing that song, I was like, what? I mean, cool. It's cool, but like, you know, it's Hail Mary, it's Tupac, but he's not supposed to be performing Hail Mary. You know what I mean? But due to timing, it just didn't allow for that to happen. There was also the ending. I didn't like how the movie ended. Now I'm not going to tell you guys what happened. I mean, you should all know what happens at the end. You know what I mean? But they could have closed the movie much better, and I feel like they didn't do that. I felt like they started to tell these stories, right? And I feel like they didn't finish them. Like, I see where the Tupac and Jada story, you know, finished. Okay, understandable. The Tupac and Snoop story, which I'm surprised they actually included, was the Dear Little Riff and whatnot. But it made it to the movie. But the Tupac and Kidada Jones story, they didn't finish it. It was like they started something and I'm like, okay, this is how it was. And I felt like because the way the movie ended, because it just ends with like, oh, after, you know, the blaze of fire happened, you know, after the gunshots rang out, there's nothing. There's no hospital like footage. There's nobody saying their goodbyes or talking to him to say, you know, we can't wait till you get out of here, you know, because Tupac was in the hospital for like 6 days or 7 days before he finally passed after being shot. So there was no closeout, and I feel like, wow, they had missed an opportunity to really close out that with Kidada Jones, because, you know, they set you up for a moment, you know, for them, because it was like, wow, it felt like a Telltale game series with Tupac. You know, she's like, you know, it was like, you staying or you going? You know, if he stays, obviously he survives and shit like that. But obviously he didn't stay. But I felt like there could have been some moments at the hospital. Another closure with his mom. You know what I mean? Mom saying some words to him in the hospital. There was no hospital footage. You know what I mean? There was no coverage around the last of him after being shot. You know what I mean? And I thought that was odd. I felt like they ended the movie. I feel like the movie ended prematurely, even though the ending happened. I just feel like there was no closure. You know, it was a proper ending, but there was no closure to the ending, and that I just kind of like, after the movie was over, I was like, well, damn, I could have told you that. You know, I felt like it left it. And I know it's hard to tell Tupac's story and have somebody play Tupac and whatnot. But it was just a lot of the stuff I feel like they could have dove into and add a little bit more details. They had 2 hours and 20 minutes. I don't know if that's enough time. Some people say, yeah, it's enough time. It's a good movie. It's a great movie, but it does have some flaws. And if you're a Tupac fan, you'll notice some flaws. But if you just want the best way to describe it is like, all right, read Tupac on Wikipedia and then watch the movie. You'll get like just like a visual Wikipedia of Tupac's story with All Eyes on Me. You know what I mean? So there was some things that I did like about it. The stories that they told of, you know, him growing up and being with Jada Pinkett, the story with him and Kidada Jones and whatnot. The story behind him shooting 2 off-duty officers, somewhat of the story behind him getting shot the first time, the death row thing, that there wasn't much details behind that, but I actually think death row should get their own movie. But I still advise people, you know, to go see it, draw your own conclusion, draw your opinion from it. Like I said, I thought the movie was good, but there was some main things that kind of just, for me, made the movie lose points for me, and that was the lack of stretch, the ending, because they didn't really have a closure, and then him performing Hail Mary at the House of Blues, and that never happened. But I don't know. You guys, let me know what you think. The movie's out. You know, I'm hoping it does good, because you know, but there was no like fraudulent stuff there. It was just incomplete, very, very, very incomplete in some parts. But that's my review, guys. I think the movie's okay. Yeah, like I said, I was hoping for better. I was hoping for some other things. We didn't get all of that. But that's my review of Tupac's All Eyez on Me biopic. So go check it out. Peace.